This is one of the great days of my life. I get a chance to talk to one of the extraordinary people in American politics on Dem Talk America here. We're talking to Paul Begala. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Ed, it is so great to see you again. It does my heart good, brother.
Yeah, thanks so much. Paul is a big-time CNN contributor and Democratic consultant. He and James Carville successfully ran Bill Clinton's campaign. 92 was really the year. I mean, 96 was a re-elect. We were fine. Everything was good. We got dealt a good hand in who we ran against in the fall. But 92, did you think, were there moments in 92 when you thought we would lose for sure?
No, tell you the truth. Because
Right.
all my life, I never saw a guy like Bill Clinton with that kind of talent. I mean, I always knew if we put him out there, he'd perform. And I look back on that now. It's like if you got to be Secretariat's jockey. You know, Ronnie Turcotte was his name.
Right.
Ronnie Turcotte was a good jockey. It didn't matter. You could have put me on it. You could have put him or whatever. Michael Jordan's basketball coach, LeBron James's coach. Some people have that talent. And even when, by the way, at this stage, I was texting with him this week, President Clinton, and he reminded me at this stage in 1992, we were at 23% nationally. We were a weak third behind President Bush and Ross Perot. So things can't change. That's his point, is that he's riding for Biden. He's all in for Biden.
Right.
And reminding me that people counted us out too in 1992. I said, yes, sir, as I always do. But the truth is, Clinton was a once in a generation talent.
Yeah.
And I was just blessed. And so were you, all of us.
I was absolutely lucky to do it.
Politically brought up by him, you know?
Yeah, no, he really did it. Well, let's get back to the, it's a herd of elephants in the room. It's not just one elephant in the room. I'll do two things. One is inflation. This economy is on fire. Inflation is at 3%. It's the lowest it's been. Unemployment is down. The Biden economy added 200,000 jobs last month to the economy. I want, on behalf of every Democrat here in the United States right now, Mr. Begala, we need advice going forward. What can we do? What's the best things? What are the realities? And what should the conversation be?
I think that we have to stop talking about Biden's accomplishments and start talking about the future.
Okay.
You know, campaigns, this is one of Clinton's many laws, he taught me. Campaigns are about the future, not the past. And Biden has done a great job. I think he's been the most consequential first-term president since LBJ. Remarkably accomplished. Nobody cares. It's what are you going to do for me tomorrow? And he has, I think, a really strong case to make. And so, for example, everything in election, and with 116 days to go, has to be a choice. You know, the greatest political strategist ever, even with respect to James Carville, was Henny Youngman, the old comedian. You asked him, how's your wife? He said, compared to what? Okay, how's your economy compared to what? So take inflation, for example. Cost of living is what we should call it, because that's a human term. That's what, you know, parents say sitting around the kitchen table. Cost of living is still too high. Who's going to do a better job of fixing it? Right? Joe Biden, who cut the cost of your prescription drugs, cut the cost of your health insurance premiums, has cut the cost at the pump of your gas. He's fighting these big corporations that are ripping us off with greedflation. Or Donald Trump. Now get this, Ed. Trump Tower in Manhattan. You go in there and buy a burger at the grill. It's $18. Pro tip to your listeners, if you walk 3 blocks from Trump Tower to the Shake Shack, you get a better burger for $8. Who's contributing to inflation? Biden, who's cutting your costs, or Trump, who's ripping you off? By the way, he's selling Bibles for $60 that you can buy on Amazon for 10. And by the way, that other 50 doesn't go to the Lord God. It goes right into Trump's pocket. He is ripping you off. He is part of the greedflation problem. Joe Biden has been part of the greedflation solution. It's to me, that's what we want to be talking about, that fight between a good guy from the middle class of Scranton, Pennsylvania, and a plutocratic billionaire who lives at a country club.
So you're telling us to hang tough. You're telling us we're riding with Biden. We're going to do what we can to elect him. The focus is on the future, which is beating the snot out of the gutter rat, the orange menace, as my wife calls him, Donald Trump. I mean, I feel I feel like we're waiting for someone, and if it's Biden, so be it. But if it's someone else, to come out and just say, "Hey, calm down, show some patience," right?
Well, that's the problem. It's like there's a lot of people that think at 81, after that catastrophic debate performance, that Joe's too old. And the question is, does Joe think that? And apparently the answer right now is no. But that is a legitimate concern. And you get a lot of Democrats that are saying, look, we love you, but the ship has sailed and they want to change. And so I'm really torn. And like every Democrat, you too, we have this war going on in our hearts where I've known Joe Biden since 1986. Our buddy Steve Domenico, who I was college roommates with, he and I were working for Bob Casey Sr., the governor, running for governor, the father of the senator. And into Allentown, Pennsylvania, walks Joe Biden, who already was a beloved figure in Pennsylvania because he was born in Scranton. He was all in on that campaign. So I've known him since 1986, and he is a really good guy. He's been exceedingly kind to me. I've never worked for him, but kind to my family. Sends handwritten notes to my kids. Just I love this man. On top of that, I think he's been one of the great presidents of my lifetime. Against that is my fear of Trump.
Right.
Is this still the guy? He is the only guy that's beaten Trump, but can he beat him again? And boy, at that debate, he didn't beat him.
No.
And so we're all torn. We're torn. And this 2 weeks of worrying hasn't gotten us very far, but I don't think it's over.
It was nonstop hammering. I mean, we've been hammered over and over and over again by the Trump people who said, oh, he's not qualified. There's something wrong with him. And then we get this debate and it rings, right. You can't unring that bell. I mean, he walked out and he did a disastrous job, but we can't walk away. What do you think of what has been going on and sort of the swirl around Kamala? Do you think she's ready for anything?
More importantly, Biden thinks that. Yes, I do. Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes. But Joe Biden thinks she's ready. We have a job, and the job is eat right and exercise, attend foreign dictators' funerals, and inquire about the president's health. Right? That's what the vice president does. So she is ready. I really believe that because I know Joe Biden loves his country more than anything. When he says she's ready to step in, and she is. She was an accomplished prosecutor. She was the attorney general of the largest state, and then she was a senator. Now she's been vice president for 3.5 years. So God forbid if lightning struck today, I'd be totally happy with Kamala stepping into the Oval Office. And the question is she the one to take the fight to Trump?
Right.
Only Biden gets to decide that. The fact, though, that we're even talking about it 116 days before the election, after Biden has already gotten 14 million votes in the primary, that tells you that there really is something going on. And what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to be an honest analyst. Okay. Right. I'm not advocating this course or that course. I am, though, saying let's be real careful not to be attacking each other. I haven't liked it when these Biden folks are attacking my buddy David Axelrod. All David Axelrod did was elect and reelect Barack Obama, who was a great president. I'm supposed to dislike David. In a world in which Donald Trump lives and runs, I don't have a lot of room to make David Axelrod an enemy.
Right.
He's not a villain in my life. He's a great guy who gave us a great president. At the same time, a lot of these people who are attacking Biden are being, I think, really rough in a way that he does not deserve and has a call. So I'm just seriously, I'm a middle child of divorced parents, Ed. Okay. I just want everyone to stay together and hug.
Right. Well, let me give you one last question here then, because I know you're probably one of the busiest people in the earth. The polling that just came out, explain that to me. We're even across the board. There's 10 polls and we're right there through all of them, right?
Isn't that amazing? It's this, and it is this. It's not about Joe. This country doesn't want Trump, period. Donald Trump has been on the national scene now since 8 years. 8 years since he slithered down that escalator. And never once has he had 50% support. Not a day, not even the whole time he was president did he ever command the majority of support of his fellow Americans. This country has a strong anti-Trump majority. Now, I wish we had a pro-Biden majority, but we don't. Right. We don't. So that tells me that any number of Democrats could beat Trump. Joe's not the only one. He's the only one who did it. But I could give you a half a dozen, starting with the vice president, who could. But we got to get the focus off of us and our problems and onto Trump. You notice he's running away from this Project 2025 like the devil runs from holy water. You know, and that's this, I know your listeners know this, but that's this amazing, stunning report that hundreds of Trump aides have put together, participated in, that calls for abolishing the Department of Education, outlawing the abortion pill, outlawing pornography, which I think Trump has done a lot of very personal research into the pornography industry, and for changing millions of civil servants and turning them, putting basically a political test onto civil servants, so that the cancer researchers, the National Institutes of Health, the rocket scientists at NASA, the chemical scientists at FDA, they would all have to be MAGA extremists or they'd be fired. So this is a right-wing takeover of our government like we've never seen. This is why even Trump is running away from it. He's running away from it because he knows it's true. That's what we ought to be talking about, though, right? This guy wants to take away not just abortion rights, but gay marriage, contraception, all of our personal privacy rights. He wants to raise taxes on the middle class, cut taxes on the rich.
Right.
I mean, we ought to be talking about all that. The fact that we're not is what the economists call an opportunity cost. And that opportunity cost is very, very high for the Democrats.
Why did they not dunk on us? I mean, Trump won a debate. I mean, that's crazy. Right. But where have they been for 2 weeks? Nowhere. Right. They're not advertising. I mean, I watched that debate and I was thinking, well, there's 91-minute ads, that they could hammer us with later, right? But they've done nothing since. And I just last question: what do you think they need to do to win this election? I try to turn it around a little bit. Trump has got money. He's got everything that he needs, everything like that. What would you do if you were advising Trump at this moment?
If I worked for Trump, I would pay Trump hush money. Just shut up, Donald, because the country doesn't like him. We don't like him. He does better when he hides. Right. He should be the one hiding. I'm serious. It doesn't get better with Trump the more you see him. Yeah. He says racist things. He says sexist things. He praised Adolf Hitler, according to General John Kelly, his former chief of staff, a 4-star general. So he needs, seriously, his best strategy is shut the hell up. Right. But he can't do it because he's a narcissist. He goes to a christening, he wants to be the baby. He goes to a wedding, he wants to be the bride. He goes to a funeral, he wants to be the corpse. He's got to be the center of attention everywhere he goes.
Jeez, I tell you what, I'm gonna let me drop one thing in, which is I want to thank our sponsor. We have one sponsor, and I can't think of the name of them, and they're really good. And it's Tiger Eye Design. I was kidding. That's a ramp up. I want to give just sincere thanks to Paul Begala today for coming in. Behind the scenes, Diane, I want to say thanks to her for lining him up. And Paul, keep going. Thank you God bless you. Ed, thank you so very much.
I love you. It does my heart good to see you again. You are the best there ever was. So I really always love talking politics with you, man.
All right, Paul. Thanks so much, and adios.
All right, brother. Take care.